Hello and welcome to episode 22 of our Timberborn 1.0 experimental playthrough with the Folktales faction cycle 40 day 10 last time. We started building the bot hive, or the bot cave as some of you have dubbed it, and we do still have to put a few more things in here, and we also have to cover it. Got a couple of suggestions for that in the comments of the last video, but outside of that we're also working on building the wonder here, Earth Recultivator, and I've been told there's an achievement if you set 3 of these off at once, so I guess we should find 2 more locations to put more of these, and then keep on putting more stuff outside of spots on the map. And I do still want to get a lot of this turned green, or more green. We will see what happens, because as I have said, time is ticking on this playthrough before I have to put it to bed. So, outside of what we've already built here, I've also been told there's an achievement for having every recipe in a refinery active. And there's 3 for biofuel. We already have 1 over here for catalyst. So it probably would also be a decent idea for us to put in a couple more refineries. The only issue with that is I don't really have a place to do that in here without doing yet more blasting. So I'm not sure what is going to make sense here. I think really the only way for that to be reliably accomplished would be to do something like this, where I just put one of these guys up on top of here and put a staircase going up. I think that is probably the only realistic way that this could happen. So that is what I will do. No, I didn't want to push that. Get out of here. And then we'll just need to make sure these are set for both other recipes. This one is making with spatterdock, so we'll do carrots, and we'll do potatoes. I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal, to be perfectly honest with you. But I like getting achievements, so there you go. So to cover this up, we of course can just go straight out, because, well, that's what it allows you to do. But it only lets you overhang 3 blocks at a time. So, I know I can build technically more than that, depending on how we have this set up, but there will need to be some sort of support in the middle, at least in one spot, to get that done. And then we'll have to figure something else out. I've also seen people saying that we need to have this be a separate district. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that without it being a huge mess. So we may or may not end up doing that, we'll see. This is something that is going to just kind of self-regulate as more and more bots get built and I can change these recipes or the employment back over to these other things. But we do still have some other issues to take care of. Like over here, I think there's still a couple of housing units that I probably should put in over here. Not entirely sure where. But, it's probably not too complicated of a thing for me to just go ahead and do. So here is what I'm going to propose. You stick all that in, and then I have one here, and then one in the middle that doesn't have easy access to anything. Because this is going to be blocking everything. So what is going to have to happen there is we'll build this, and then the zipline station is going to get moved, turned 180 degrees, and have a path come straight across the front here. I believe is going to be the best option for that. We will, of course, have to kind of regulate how often new beavers are born, which is going to mean that we have to leave these disconnected from the path network until we're absolutely ready for them. But we still do need to put that in. Get these decorative pieces in as well. And that's probably going to more or less complete what we have going on here. Pardon the cut so I can sneeze and get a drink of water. But outside of this area, I do still want to have at least one other beaver housing complex, and I'm not entirely sure where that needs to go. I'm honestly kind of out of ideas, just in general. So outside of that, we probably should also have zip lines cutting across the map this way. Don't really know where that should get routed. All I know is that we got to get something going here. So, I don't have a good way for these beavers to get up here except for walking, which is obviously not ideal. This is not a station, that's not a station, so they can't get off there. This has just become an extremely long walk for no reason. And I don't really have a good way of getting out of here. So I suppose the best I can do is just something like this. Just get that hooked up there. I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal. But yeah, we're going to let them continue working on that. I think for the most part, this can just be fine straight out like that. Is that going to be a clearance issue? It is. Okay. Well, see, this is what complicates things when you have to figure out some sort of thing that's going to cover everything up, and it can't look stupid. Or if it's going to look stupid, it has to look a specific brand of stupid that has been pre-authorized, I guess we could say. So that's going to get me part of the way there. That's going to get me part of the way there, and I guess I just have to figure out how to get that brought in somewhere else. I'm going to take these away here, and then have this be straight across so that that can cover all of that mess. That can cover that there, and then I guess we can contour this slowly over time, as one does. But I've got to get a zipline station going somewhere else, and I don't really know where to connect any of this. I mean, I guess I got to have this continue this way, but I don't really have a good option for it. At least not one that doesn't look stupid. Yeah, see this, they got that tank in the way. Not really going to be doing me any favors here. Because normally you're supposed to be able to see if this is in range of any of these that are free. It should have that little thing there. So maybe I just have to, because of the cutoff here, I just have to, you know, put this in and then figure out what else is going to connect there. As Folktales have working refineries producing each available recipe. Yay! Achievement unlocked. Neat! Yeah, I don't need to put storage for those other items there. That's totally fine. Did they build this stuff yet? Not even close. Alright, yeah, because the builders are all working their tails off for all of this nonsense here, which we still have not gotten hooked up. Let's speed that process up. That'll make this slightly more bearable for the beavers. I'll get these brought in over here. And then I believe... Yeah, see, I can get into that. That'd be fine. I guess I'm just going to leave this as is. Theoretically, I could take this down one more level, assuming the slope is going to allow that, and then I could bury the entire station. But honestly, I think this is going to be fine. So we'll come back to that in due time. But there's still some spots here, I'm pretty sure, we could reasonably irrigate without it being a huge deal. Like, we've got these sluice gates and we've got dams put in place. In terms of, you know, bad water flowing through here, obviously we do have where is it? I'm in the wrong spot. Yeah, when this starts dumping stuff out, then all that bad stuff's going to come through here. We could, depending on how, you know, how much time we want to spend here, tunnel this outside the edge of the map. That would make this much more viable as a green space. We do have aquifers over here, and honestly, this isn't that far away with these power shafts and everything. My one concern with that is just it takes so long. Like, we're talking, I'd be sitting here for 5 hours before this episode could be finished, and I don't have that kind of time to get power with the Folktales routed underground. So for this to be fully utilized with aquifer drills, we would really And I mean really have to have a lot of windmills over here and some gravity batteries, which I'm not necessarily opposed to. It's just, you know, again, one of those things you already know. But if clean water's coming up through here, and this is always coming through this way, and we're able to blast this out, so how many levels down would I have to go? See, this would be 1, 2, 3. Perfect. That's doable. I could absolutely stick a hole here, 2 by 3, and then we can just put a tunnel underneath, because it's not going to be that big of a deal. Just have to have that go out, just like so. Would not take very long to get this routed, and then that would be that. And then honestly, I could just fill this terrain in here just by doing one of these things. Maybe I'll do, instead of that, I'll do that there, and then I can have this go straight the way across. Give them a pathway to get in here. And we have a drought coming up, so this is actually perfect timing to get a bunch of this stuff taken care of. How are we doing on this? Still at 58%. I guess I should decide where I'm going to put these other ones. I feel like this area over here would probably be a pretty good choice. This would actually almost be perfect. So, if I stick this here, they obviously can't build from below unless they have access. But I don't think that's impossible for us to achieve here. So if we utilize our stairways, especially of the spiral variety, that becomes a lot easier to get to. We'll just make sure this is massively deprioritized. And there we go. That's going to be site number 2. And then maybe we'll put another one over here by the bots. But now we have 4 bots who have nothing going on. Nothing else to do. So, it's time to unlock refineries for bots to get these guys swapped over. And then what other buildings over here haven't been dealt with? I think this is all of them set for bots. Okay. That does make that substantially easier for us to take care of. I know we haven't covered this entirely yet. We'll most likely get there. I just have to figure out a good way of getting this covered. That might be a time-lapse thing later. Have we started doing any of this yet? Technically, yes. Okay, that's going to be a thing. I really don't like building these temporary construction things. I feel like it's a huge waste of time, and I know I'm going to get absolutely jumped in the comments for saying that, but that's fine. It's just something else to clean up when you're done. So, I'll humor you. I'll put that there. It's alright. This right here, I feel like is kind of begging to have some irrigation in it. But instead, what I'm going to propose is that we fill up underneath here, since if and when we can actually get this completely clean. I'm probably going to just fill this up and turn this into kind of a lake. So if I were to do that, and then just keep this one level higher, is that actually going to be worth doing, or let's take this down here. I'll tell you what I need to do is I need to get this out, get this thing out of here. I need to put that terrain block in place because I know we're not going back down to that hole ever again. And then probably what's going to make the most sense is for me to just slightly modify this, leave this in here, and then instead put in... Ah, see, I can't put that there. Why can I not put that there? Is because there's nothing underneath it? Yeah, okay. See, this quickly becomes complicated when you start doing stuff like this. Yeah, so if I have it set to that height, I do need to make sure that I pause that one at the very least so they can actually, you know, do something. That means this here, it's going to be one level below this, which would cover that, and would cover all of this, actually, could be, in theory, underwater to a certain degree if I fill this with dams. Which means this would back up to here, and that's actually kind of exactly what I want. So, I think that is going to be our best option moving forward there. They're not going to be able to get this one unless I give them a bridge. So, let's do that. Then I'm going to put stairs down to get to that spot, and then this has to be irrigated, turned on, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, man. I really don't want to spend another episode waiting on this. So probably what's going to have to happen, we can't flood the windmills, but if these are going to require 400 HP at all times, we realistically are going to have, for each one of them, probably 3 windmills, because then we have to be able to have the gravity batteries. See, I don't know. I miss my engines. It's so much easier to do it with those. I did say I needed to do something with this. I got no ideas, man. No clue. No clue, but time is ticking. Is there anywhere else I could really irrigate and have it not be just kind of dumb looking? I honestly do not know. How are we looking over here? Well, at any rate, you know what time it is. It's about to be a drought, and we have some diversion to take care of. So I'm going to time-lapse this. It should not take a tremendously long amount of time, but I'll see you in just a moment. Alright, so they finished this tunnel right at the start of Cycle 41. We can go ahead and, for the sake of everyone's sanity, just wipe this out. Don't need them. Don't need them. So no one can get stuck. All the stuff disappears after 15 minutes now anyway. And the bad water over here is forever dealt with. And we can not only have some nice, clean blue water. I believe we, at this point now, can also get rid of those. We don't need these here. I don't know that this even helped at all, but hey, whatever. That's fine. To get this built, I've got to send some beavers all the way down here. I don't really have a good way of doing that except just building a staircase here. So, that will be what happens here. Get that there. They're going to pop this in. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do what I want them to do here without me having another... Yeah, I'm going to have to send them. I realize the irony, going down the stairs just to go back up the stairs, yes. It's funny, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. We've already got this started. And, wow, did they finish this? Well, I wasn't expecting that at all. Okay, well, we definitely don't need beavers working here yet. We're not going to launch this until probably the very end. So that one is taken care of. That's a good problem to have, I suppose. They have done nothing with this because they can't get in there enough to actually build anything. Yeah, because somebody didn't do this right. Okay, I just need to put that in and get that hooked up. They should be able to build the rest of this. But yeah, once this is taken care of, this should flood nicely without it being a huge ordeal. This no longer needs to have sluice gates. This can just be completely open, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's take this out, take that out. And then, you know what? You know what? I can take these out and turn this into a sluice gate that just automatically fills this to a certain depth. Otherwise, it has to come from somewhere else. Oh, it's already overfilling anyway. Okay. Well, I suppose we might as well. So if I take that blockage out, I can do it one piece at a time. Or I can just say, you know what, we all have better things to do, and just do one of the... Why are you going that way? Okay. Seems like a suboptimal path, but that's fine. I think, based on depth, I'm going to want to have this close at, say 0.5 here. Because that's going to be halfway up to this. It's going to be halfway up to this. Come around here. Yeah, that should be about right. So we do have some clean water coming in this way from all of this. And then once these are going, we'll have clean water coming in from that. Are these empty yet? They are. They are. And that one's not empty. But it's in the process of emptying, so that's fine. No, I got 20 bots I don't have anything to do with, so I need to find somewhere to stick those. But we don't have fuel everywhere that we might need it to be. What is this? Why is this empty? Water? Okay, well, that probably needs to get fixed. We have this over here that is begging for bots to take care of. So this would probably be a decent place for us to have a bot thing. So for lack of, you know, any other realistic options here, I'm just going to make this biofuel set to obtain. Then we also need one for catalyst, which I can also stick here, set to obtain. And then, okay, planks we're actually kind of low on. I'll unpause those. I think we can start setting these to be bot workplaces. So just to clear a couple things up, multiple comments from folks who are thinking of the Iron Teeth bot mechanics, where they need to be recharged. That's not how these guys work. These guys have the fuel. That is the only thing that the Folktales bots actually require is biofuel. But you can have catalyst to boost them, and you can also have punch cards, which is one of those things that we need to have produced that we're not currently making. So getting this turned over to bots should reduce our injuries and should also increase the efficiency to the point where we probably don't need to build any more. I've got this here making books. I've got this here making books. We could easily just switch one of these over to punch cards, which is what I will do right now for default purposes. And probably easiest solution here is to have one of these be for... We already have tons of books. We'll just have both these be for punch cards. Why not? Why not? I already have a punch card thing all the way over here. That should be helpful at some point. They're working on this. That hasn't been built yet because it's too far from a district and can't... What? I mean it's too far from a district and can't be reached. It's right... Oh, they haven't... Okay, they haven't finished the stairs. That's on me. Alright, they'll take care of that. What I want to know is why is our well-being so low? Ah, social life. That would do it. And then all of these fun things. I think this is probably more of a consequence of just having them work all the time than much else. So we do have everything that they can need. We just aren't using it all the time. So if I connect that, and I get 13 empty beds, we'll let those slowly fill up. Everything else is honestly seeming fine. Okay, who let me do this, first of all? Alright. I just, you know what, we're just not going to worry about it. We're gonna move on. Taking on that, catalyst-wise, I've got 981, 84. Okay, I think we're probably okay until we get up to a bunch more bots. For now, that's probably fine. Chestnuts haven't caught up yet, which, if you recall, we had to regrow all of our chestnuts. I've got maple here. We've got still not enough maple syrup, despite having this entire thing as well. But these aren't all harvested. So this, to me, sounds like a great thing to put a bot in. Which, of course, is going to require we put a little tank in for some biofuel. And we're also going to need a tank for catalyst, which I don't really have a better place to stick it than right here. But it's fine. They'll take care of that, and the Badwater rig also would be a good place to have bots going. I guess I could just go ahead and stick them in there as well. Now we have beavers who don't have anything to do. So that is useful. See, that's finished. I'm sure they're working on this one now. And they are. It's right on the zipline network, so that's fine. Where do I want to put the third one of these? They got one here, one here. The logical conclusion is one over here. But this is kind of far away. Okay, this can be removed. I need to get this figured out. I still don't really know what I'm working with here. We have a maximum range of 3 in terms of overhang support, which is 1, 2, 3 here. Would get me to here, would not quite get me to here, but that's fine. If I did that, that's that height. I need it to be 1 lower. I don't really have an elegant solution. Sorry to disappoint you on that front. But I think it's going to be fine. I know I can, you know, build off of that. That's not going to be an issue. If I can get this to go all the way out here, then that becomes easier to go out here and then out here. Now this bit here, I'm not entirely sure that there's a better solution besides whatever nonsense I've come up with here. Oh, that's not going to reach. Man. So what's going to have to happen here is this is going to have to get stacked. And then this could be framework for whatever goes beneath it. That might help me get a little bit further out, but it might look a little strange. We'll see what happens. They're, of course, going to take their time doing that. How are we looking here? Okay, I turned that off so they could build everything else underneath it, or on top of it. Looks like that is fine. This has not been removed because I did not know. I did, they just haven't done it yet. Okay. Well, hopefully that's not going to be a problem. I guess we'll just have to wait and get them to take care of that. Everything else here is fine. Now, I find myself with the thought that, you know what, maybe it is just better to have this connected all the way up here. I know I have this path for power here. That's going to take a really long time. That's going to take a stupid amount of time to get done. So, if I instead try and get down from this, same kind of thing that I had going on here, it might actually be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Honestly, I think it's going to be faster for us to do this. Alright, so that is the bottom of the map, is it? Alright, well, you know what? That makes this a slightly easier thing for us to accomplish here, doesn't it? And because I know how much you guys absolutely love these time lapses I end up having to do all the time. Now, some of you actually legitimately do love them. Others of you not so much, but that's fine. For the sake of everything, let's rotate these. Here and here. Because then what I can do is attach that, and then this is going to be... So this is the very bottom. It would come up, say, right here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things going down. And that would need to go to here. I guess that's about all I can do, honestly. Easier to send them in from the top. So, if I send these guys over this way, I just have to give them a staircase. And then some way of getting back down, which not that big of a deal. I just need to path it out. So that'll go there. That'll go there. That'll go there. Same kind of deal there. So on and so forth. That is quite the trek to get all of that taken care of. Yeah, that's just gonna have to wait. So we have enough. We have enough bots now. If I'm careful with how I assign things, we probably could maybe utilize bots. What I definitely can do is, because of how this is laid out, I know I can take care of putting in something else here. That's going to reach all the way out to this spot and then to there. Okay, what if I put this here? Is that in range? It is not. Height-wise, is that too high? It might be. This would work here. It doesn't like going through all of that. That would also work, but I put stairs there. That's not my finest hour. So why don't we remove the stairs? Just stick that in that spot there. And then I know I can do this. So that'll get me there. It's only 22 meters, but that's going to be a little bit closer. And that'll get me... It's not going to show me until, of course, that's actually built. Or is it... Oh, it's not going to let me put those guys above the path. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, well... That means... Just take this out. Depending on how I do this now, I can just have this go out. Yeah, it's going to have to move this way. How far can I go? Not that far. Is that because I have something in the way, or is that just because it's too far? Well, let's try this. Oh, come on. 24 meters. Alright, well, you know what? That's going to be good enough. That's going to go there, and then I believe from here, if I place this in a decent enough location, I should be okay. So this is as far as that goes. I already have a path here. That's the only reason that's going there. And then I should be able to, should being the operative term, stick this right about here. And then that will go there. So, is it elegant? No, but it's going to save us a lot of time. A lot of suffering, etc., so on and so forth. This is ready to go. So that gets me all the way down to the very bottom. We can preemptively stick a power shaft in here. And then that will go there. And since we already have a path coming into here, we'll just get this set up like so. And then I will just tunnel straight through these couple of blocks here. And that'll get us into the tunnel on this side. And depending on how much time I feel like spending with this, I may tunnel down from this side as well. It probably is still a little too high for this to be worthwhile. What's the connectivity over here? almost non-existent. Okay, well, I did say I was going to relocate this. I was going to turn it around. And that would also, regardless of where I end up putting that, probably require for me to put in something here. Is that going to be too far? Yes. Okay, well that will work. I know I can do this without too much additional nonsense. And until I have to turn this around, I just want this connected so I can actually get something accomplished here. That can become a staircase, and then that can just go straight there. That's already set up. I don't think there's anything else I have to do for this. So you all already know, folks. You know, it is time once again for a time lapse where I just get to get this connected up. Don't know how long it's going to take, but we will get this figured out. We can get more water coming in, make a little bit more of the map green, make things look just a little bit nicer without having to have a billion of these windmills everywhere. And if I have both ends served by zip lines, it shouldn't take 4 cycles or something ridiculous to build. But it will, of course, just take time. So we're going to let them get to it, and I will speak with you momentarily. I don't know what time it is going to be for me, but for you it's only going to be a few more seconds. Alright, cycle 42 is here, and we have just now finally gotten these aquifers hooked up. And boy, oh boy, is it beyond time for this to be done. But we're going to get to the disaster that I'm sure you guys have figured out has already happened in just a moment here. But this is working out nicely. This bad water will be going away in just a moment. And yes, I failed to fix this. I'm extremely mad about it, but nothing's going to fix that just by complaining, so we're done with that. I'm really sick of this, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm beyond done. I'm ready to move on. But we can't finish until we have our 3 earth cultivators ready to go. This one is being assembled at a frightening pace. Bots included also, which is of course, consequence of us having builders added. But we need a 3rd one, and I never did figure out exactly where I wanted it to go, and I don't have this covered up yet, so we do still have a little bit of time that we need to be spending on this. Just, regrettably is not ending how I wanted it to, but hey, whatever. That's what happens. At least this is, you know, getting cleaned up a little bit. It'll dilute eventually. We do have this gonna help some stuff flesh out here. In a perfect world, I'd probably like to have some of this clean water come down here, but I don't know of a way to get that set up easily. So yes, this is going to be a great thing to put a bot in because it can just go 24/7. It is what it is, man, at this point. Let's see, what else? Like I said earlier, I'm out of ideas. I'm completely out of ideas with this. So I think next episode of this is going to have to be the last one. I believe that comes out on Wednesday, I think. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. That would be fine. But we're gonna end up next episode, last episode, whatever. Put in the 3rd one of those. We do have to get these hooked up. I guess I could go ahead and just do that right now. I know we have our contaminated beaver because I forgot to get that stuff all taken care of. I don't think I need to have this stuff here anymore, so we can get these emptied out. Get these out of here. I will take the zipline station away, and then I think we are going to be good to move on. But at least everything's connected-wise. Everything's looking okay here. We don't quite making enough power yet. There it goes. Now some of those wheels and other things have kicked in. That's looking a little bit better. Let's see, that is empty there. That's empty there. This is going to be empty in just a moment. There it is. That'll be empty at some point. I think we might actually have too much fuel to empty this. But this whole area is going to be flooded in just a second, so I don't want to have to sit here and babysit it. So, away it goes. Now that this is clean, I can finally get... Seriously, they still haven't done this? Or is that because there's nothing underneath it? Okay, that's exactly why. Alright, so I'm going to have to unpause that. We'll get the terrain blocks popped in. They'll get this open. This whole thing will flood. That hole has been plugged up, so I guess that's fine. And this actually, I think, needs another layer on top of it. So we know we can do that. I don't think we're going to need to have this ever again. So that can get picked up. In fact, if that's gone, then no point in having any of this either. Not going to need to get over here ever again. What I do need to do is get this whole thing figured out. And I don't know what the exact best option for this is. To be perfectly honest with you, I think just doing this might be fine, but it's going to end up looking kind of strange. Having this come up, say, from here over. Not really sure what to do with that. Alright, so this is filling up. A little bit of this coming off of this drain here is probably not going to be the end of the world. That is just about done. Now this can get put in, or taken out, rather. If they decide that's worth their time. But that sure looks a whole lot better than the alternative of not having any of this irrigated. And I believe there's only one or two of... I know we have the bad tide drains here. These did not get rerouted. And we never even bothered with this. So I honestly, I think that's fine. I still don't really know the exact best way to solve this, but I don't know that there's that much else I can really do here. So I will just remove these paths, these stairs, so we don't have to look at them, and then we will get a couple more things buttoned up. And it'll be time for us to say goodbye today. So that goes out there. That should eventually get this all ready to go. That platform is ugly and can be removed. That can go there. We don't have to worry about having to pick stuff up. So pieces will just go away. But I think that's going to be fine. This zipline station also doesn't need to be here. That can get removed. That can get removed. All those things will get picked up, I believe. Yeah, we just have a little bit of lingering pollution in here. This is coming out this way to push stuff through. It is what it is. And then that's ready to go. This is going to be... Is that almost 50% done? And our industrial capacity has actually seemed to be mostly okay. Let me swap these builders' huts back over, or not back over, they were never bots to begin with. Just swap them over to bots. And then, probably going to want the explosives factory, going to want the centrifuges. And just get ahead of the bots a little bit, and I believe we're going to be an okay situation. These maples are not going to be... They're not going to survive because this got the nasty in it. Do I really want to put any more pumps in here? I don't think I can. Unless plants die, which they're not going to because this is not dirty enough. Alright, well if I open this, that will give this a little bit more of a chance to get cleaner faster. Maybe I can save some of these trees. No, that one's already dead. I don't think we need to lose any more sleep over it. Yeah, I mean, the farms still aren't great. I mean, we're okay. We've beaten the game at this point in terms of food, but I don't know really what other solution I can have for that. So, yeah, the last thing I need to do is just fix this so we can have that all taken care of, good to go. This staircase here doesn't need to exist because we have... Did I really just forget which one was going to be connected to what? Oh, was I going to redo this? I don't remember. That's the problem with doing like all this stuff at once. You have no idea what you've already said you are and are not going to do. See that? I guess I could just have face this way and be done with it. That's what I said I was going to do. So, there we go. Alright, so that'll get fixed. So there you have it, folks. We have a lot more water. We have this diverted. This looks so much better and cleaner. And supply demand is more or less fine. And our giant gravity battery bank has yet to been completely drained, although it is currently going down. So we'll see what happens. But I think this is about the best spot I can think of to leave it for now. So, oh, well-being high score of 45. That's pretty good. It's because we have a whole bunch of beavers that aren't even working. So we'll check and see how things are going in the next episode before we say goodbye for everything for real. But I do appreciate your support on this series and your understanding when things don't go great, because, well, I don't take out stupid mistakes or whatever that end up happening here, because that's the authentic experience of playing the game and trying to figure out how to make an interesting narrative without editing. Which, don't know how many more of those I got in me. It's just keeping it 100% real there, but I am very happy with what we've been able to accomplish overall, and I'm glad you've been here, and I'm very thankful for you for supporting the channel, supporting the videos. Of course, Beard Booster is directly subsidizing things, so I don't have to do sponsorships, and I don't have to chase the algorithm around and do all this whatever other stuff. So, whatever you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.